I also think that this situation will be a great leveller in terms of finding out who was actually the best team rather than maybe the best club with the supporters group that have the most influence on the game. When we get to these one game ties after tonight's round, it'll be down to one match, everyone in the one city, no advantage, neutral venues. So the best actual football team with the best coach and staff behind them should win those games, and there should be no arguments about it.
It'll be a pure competition in that sense.
Yeah, if we think about the influence that, say, the crowd at Anfield had last year and the turnaround for Liverpool against Barcelona, it wasn't just the quality of the performance of the team. The team were driven by the crowd. And, you know, it didn't work in every match. I mean, the Ajax crowd in Amsterdam weren't good enough to keep Spurs out. Right? It didn't matter in that. But sometimes it can have an influence on the game. It can have an influence on the referees' decisions. So without crowds, it will be a more pure... It'll be back to almost as we played as kids.
Jumpers for goalposts in the Champions
almost,
League.
But rows about who scored. No rows about the goals, except VAR makes a decision and away we go.
Yeah, Keith, so we won't have the passionate supporters, but we've got this tournament aspect and these one-off games, as we will have when we get into the final stages in Lisbon. What sort of things are you going to be looking out for?
Yeah, well, Brian's touched on the lack of crowd, and I think by this stage they should be used to it. They obviously know what's at stake now, and I think you look at the type of figures, the type of leaders within the groups that will maybe kind of get that going. Sergio Ramos going to be a massive miss tonight for Real Madrid, so he's certainly going to be a big void. But that whole dynamic of two-legged ties, it does change the whole kind of dynamic of the tie, because you can catch a team out tactically in a one-off, can't you? So the likes of Pep Guardiola, what he did in Madrid was obviously very, very impressive. And Brian's point is very interesting in terms of, you know, the lack of the kind of the whole euphoria that a crowd can bring. It's going back to its purest form now.
Who's the best team? Who's got the best
in the one game, as Keith said, you can catch a team on one. So it's also for the underdogs. It's an interesting format now, because they only have to do it in the one game.